Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. I'm really excited about today's guest, David Preston, and he is a business and leadership coach. And he's got a fantastic story about he started consulting business over 30 years ago. He's built it into a very successful firm from scratch. And today he's going to be talking all about finding the right business coach, scaling, and it's going to be all around wonderful, fantastic business conversation. So, David, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Lou. I look forward to this. This is going to be a fun interview. We just throw some stuff back and forth and see if we can help some folks.
Yeah, I love that. And you and me were talking backstage. So, tell people your story, your backstory, real quick, and then we'll dive right into the conversation.
Yeah, actually, I worked for a multi-billion-dollar furniture corporation way back in the day, and they went out of business, filed bankruptcy, closed 800 stores in about a month. And I put resumes out everywhere, never could, everybody wanted to offer me a position for a third of what I was making. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to teach a free workshop to small business owners to teach them about marketing because that much I knew about. And that was how it all started. I started at a resource center for the Small Business Administration, taught a free workshop, and it just exploded. Everybody was like, that's awesome. And I grew that and leveraged it, into a company with 5 different divisions, and VAs, and doing really, really well now, kind of semi-retired and really enjoying life.
Yeah, I love this idea of semi.
I don't think you ever truly retire if you love what you do.
Yeah,
That's the key. And that's
yeah,
probably like you, no matter how financially independent everybody becomes, if you love what you do, you're always going to be doing that. And I'm that way.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. So we'll kind of start what I have is I've got some themes, and one thing that I'm always interested in is in new terms, and you have this term called a theory peddler, and what is that and why is it significant?
Yeah, theory peddler, that's a very good question. And I get that a lot. I took a lot of heat for that when I posted it on the blog from a lot of really big names on the internet that have known me for a long time. But a theory peddler to me will absolutely destroy your success. And what they do is they come up with a great idea and they'll turn it into a product and they'll make a slick sales page and they'll sell it to everybody, but they've never actually done it themselves, so they have no true knowledge of how it actually works. And one of my biggest mentors in life that I had was Jim Straw. He's passed away now, but he told me a long time ago in a big plaque he sent me that said, true knowledge can only be obtained from the application of information. And I never forgot that. So that's a theory peddler to me, is they'll sell you something that they don't even know if it works, but it sounds good. So it'll sell. And that's what happens. Everybody buys it because they're like, it's great, but they know 99% of the people are not going to actually do it. So they get by with it and they'll gladly refund the 1 or 2%, that try it and say, hey, this doesn't work, so they can continue, selling to the other 98%.
Yeah, yeah. And then you mentioned what was interesting is it's always talking about it's not knowledge and information now these days, it's application and transformation. It's how you um, convey that knowledge in an
Right.
educational, entertaining way, how you build a list of subscribers and audience. So one thing is you talked about during your journey was starting from scratch, and a list of subscribers is really important. So talk about how you started building this list, and then how you started to, you actually talked about marketing in the early days with no list. So talk about that.
Yeah, it was basically joint ventures was how I started in the early days. And I didn't even know I was doing that at the time. It was joint ventures. Everybody's like, wow, he's really awesome at that. And I was like, what are you talking about? But it was basically everything caught on from actually helping people first. So I taught that resource center. All these business owners were there. They got a lot of information that was applicable to their business. I had an open Q&A at the end of it. And by the time I got home, I had messages on the machine. Everybody was like, how much for you to just do it for us? And I was like, wow. So that's how it started. And then that started building the list. And then I started getting invitations. I was on a couple of radio shows, I was on a local TV show, and then the list just, exploded. But one of the ways is, you're going to pay for the list one way or the other. That's what I tell everybody. But if you do it correctly and you're nurturing the list and you're actually helping them, I call it a 1-2 punch. Is once you get the list going, then you deliver like 2 jabs of really good information that they can use and take action on and make money with, hopefully. And then you come back with an overhand right, that is the offer. I do have offer. And that's worked really well for me over the years. And you should be making around 80 cents to $1 per month from each subscriber. That's just an average. If you're not doing that, you don't have a really good relationship with them.
Yeah.
So you need to turn that around.
Yeah. And so when you say list and subscriber, because now we've got email lists. Now there's YouTube subscribers. That's Medium. We've got newsletters. So we've got Substack. Kind of talk about, is that combined or is it just per kind of a digital Rolodex that you should be 80 cents to $1 per subscriber?
Yeah, that's a great question. And nobody else has ever asked me that. So that's a really good question. And it's very relevant. We have lists building from all of those sources that you said, and a few extra ones. We have Vimeo, we have a couple other platforms we're using too, and HubSpot, but on top of that, what you're trying to do is transform these people into one list that is a buyer's list. So it doesn't matter if they've purchased anything from you at all, even if it's only $1. You've got their trust. They know you. They like you. They've opened their wallet to you before, and they will again, as long as you treat them correctly. So what you want to do is move all of those subscribers eventually over to a buyer's list. And that's what we teach business owners, even doctors, marketers. We're working with some jewelers right now in Florida. And it's the same way, is we're trying to teach them how to transform these people into a list to begin with, because they don't do list building. And then after that, move them to a buyer's list, which is really powerful because you can make them an offer, hit a button on the email, and that's your magic button. Once you hit that button, you're going to make money every time.
Yeah, it's interesting. And on average, I know, because a lot of people so I know, a lot of my friends and colleagues, they've got, tens of thousands of followers on Instagram or, or TikTok or whatever, Twitter. But, these you can really build. But I think the best relationships are like email or, kind of like a subscriber list. So how long does it take to build this list in general? Is it a year, 2 years? Just kind of, in general.
Yeah, your tenacity or your budget that you've allocated, for building the list. If you hire a company, that can start driving traffic or that type of stuff, to your website, always have an offer. That's the thing, is have an offer for something free as a list magnet, that's really valuable, that will really help them. And you got to base that on your audience. And you can do that now with AI really easily. And we're teaching a lot of the coaching students how to use AI, and just ask it, somebody in this demographic, what would be a really valuable lead magnet for them? And it'll tell you, and you can just build it and deliver it, and everybody thanks you for it. And that's where you get into the 1-2 jab, 1-2 jab, and you just continue to build the list, because the money is in the list. It always has been, always will be.
Yeah. I love that. And then, this idea of 1-2 jab is, we were actually talking backstage about how you created your successful business by just offering value. So kind of talk about your philosophy around that and how that's really contributed to your success, just offering value to the audience.
Yeah, a lot of that is like one of the things we've got going right now is we have an offer on davidprestonconsulting.com. If you go there, you can set up a $500 free consultation. And if you looked at it before, it actually is a $500 consultation. And what I do is go through your business very quickly and find out a hidden asset that you can leverage for your brick and mortar business or your practice or whatever that is going to turn you around very, very quickly. And one of those things right now that you may consider too is a list reactivation campaign. And what that is getting in touch with subscribers or former people, who have purchased your services before, but haven't purchased them within the past year and a half. And then make them an extremely good offer, apologize to them that you kind of let them slip through the cracks, and it's my fault. I take full ownership of that. And here's something to make it up to you. I hope you'll come back to me. And it works really, really well. And it can produce a lot of cash really fast.
Really powerful. The next question is because you mentioned AI in the previous response, and AI was I really saw AI take off last year after ChatGPT came out in November of the year previous of 2022. And so how are you showing business owners how to use AI to leverage and scale either their lists or their companies or businesses and so on?
Yeah, that's a great question too. And it's always changing every day. AI is just evolving. It's just incredible. And it's very difficult to keep up with all of the changes. One thing we're doing is with AI, we have a module, the training module for coaching students when they come in there is they can do it on their own time. But it shows them the different AI platforms, how they work, and how to leverage those for their business. And a lot of people don't know with ChatGPT, you can actually sign up for AIRPM that almost nobody knows about. Mm-hmm. And it just eclipses ChatGPT as far as what it does. As an example, ChatGPT's got like 500 prompts for marketing, and AIRPM has 22,000. Plus, they send you something every day in a newsletter from AIRPM that tells you all the trends of what's going on out there. And it's an extension of ChatGPT. So if you get ChatGPT, look for extensions in the Play Store in Google, and you'll find AIRPM. It's free. Yeah,
that's really powerful. Because they say that one month in AI is almost like a year. That it's like so rapid, and like if you miss out on a month, you're way behind. And if you're a business owner not using AI, or if you're not leveraging it, you are they say you're going to be out of business soon. So I'll definitely check out that AIRPM. That sounds quite interesting.
Google has their own version, that we put in the coaching session. That's like bard.google.com, and then bing.ai is another really good one, and then ChatGPT and AIRPM as an extension. And you can really accomplish a ton of stuff, with ChatGPT. And as an example, Google knows because they have Bard, if you've written the article or if AI has written the article. And if AI has written it, Google's not going to give you any credence at all as far as listings and SEO juice and, all of that kind of stuff. They just discount it, But inside of AIRPM, they have a process in there called Get Human. And you can copy and paste that AI article into Get Human, and it'll rewrite it in a human voice so that AI doesn't even recognize it. So that's just an example of 5 minutes. You could write, a really good article that Google thinks was written personally by you, and it starts climbing the ranks. Yeah. Wait, what was that that application again for the audience, so that I can put in the show notes? You mentioned AIRPM. Bard.google.com. That's Google's answer, to AI. And they're kind of behind the curve. They really are. And then Bing.ai is another one. That's Microsoft's version, and they're pretty advanced. They're pretty good. Yeah. What was interesting was I was reading an article a couple weeks ago, and basically because the amount of AI generated content was so much that the search engines couldn't keep up with moderating what was AI and what wasn't. So it's just letting everything through. And so I noticed like some of my AI generated content was getting through and getting like
enormous, but then like I think they put in the traffic lights to stop it, and so now everything
Right.
went. That
Yeah,
was
because
interesting.
AI knows, keyword, it's very good at inserting the keywords and doing everything it needs to do to climb an SEO. And we've
Yeah,
seen some clients do that too. The only bad part about that is Google will circle back around, and just like Penguin update and all the other stuff that happened, if
yeah.
it determines that that is AI, they're going to slap you down. And we're already seeing that happen with some of the clients. They're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I
yeah.
told you.
It's like you always have to be one step ahead, just like kind of
Correct.
like always doing new things, and kind of keeping ahead of the algorithms. So
Right. And one
yeah.
of the things that somebody asked me before, they said, what is the best course on AI? What's the best course out there on AI? And I said, the best thing you can do is go on Chat GPT, get the AI RPM extension, and then ask it. Say, can you teach me how to use you more effectively? And it'll lay it all out. I got like a 52-page notebook from AI RPM with all these links that tell me exactly what to do.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
fascinating.
your pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah. ChatGPT is almost like my editor. It's my assistant. It can do a lot like brainstorm. It can,
Right.
create templates. Really, really powerful. Yeah. So we have a few more minutes, and then kind of closing out is one thing that we were talking about, because Google, what I found really interesting with Google is like when I travel somewhere and I can get local information on small businesses in that area through either
Yeah.
maps or search. So tell the audience how people can get small business clients in their local areas.
Yeah. One of the best ways is, go to the people you know. If you're already doing business with them, go to the people that you know and offer them a free service. I offered to show them how to list build, number one, and because they didn't even have a list. Are you marketing to a list? No. Do you know you need one? Are you doing it? No. so and that's pretty common. And it could be any type of a business owner, that you do business with, even a hair salon. We've had a few of those, some health spas, clothing stores, whatever it is, and offer to do something for them for free. And I told them one of the things they need to do is contact their merchant services provider, the 800 numbers right on the machine, and get them to change the receipt header. Put a website up with a lead capture page, very simple to do, and then right on the header, say, for preferred customer discounts and coupons, sign up at blah, blah, blah.com. It's free, and then you start building a list of buyers, because the only people that get the receipt are purchasers. And that's a really powerful list.
Yeah.
That's your magic button. Every time you send them a coupon or an offer, they're going to buy.
Yeah. It's like a digital Rolodex, like each
Correct.
list, and like you've got these digital media assets, and really powerful. And so I really enjoyed this conversation. If people want to find out more about you, check out the work you do, how can they contact you?
Of course, I'm on LinkedIn pretty heavily, but that's linkedin.com, the legendary consultant. And I'm also one of the editors and copywriters for LinkedIn. And then I've got my own page is davidprestonconsulting.com. And there's a lot of information on there. They can contact me through the contact form, and I personally get those. And I review those every day. And I enjoyed the
Yeah.
time here too, Dr. Lou. It's a lot of fun. You're a great
Yeah.
host. So you asked some great questions.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, I'm really curious, and I love talking to different people and just getting insights into people, how people think, and I love sharing that. So
Right.
yeah, I love this
I guess the
conversation.
point, in my career, sorry, but the biggest turning point in my career was hiring a mentor who had true knowledge of where I had been and where I needed to go. And he taught me, the biggest lesson I learned was quit being such a control freak and let go of some of the stuff you don't need to be doing. Turn it over to a staff or turn it over to a VA, and then start growing your company. Because if you don't let go, you'll never grow.
That's wonderful advice, and that's something my wife always tells me. She's like, just kind of you focus on your main thing and then kind of
Yep.
delegate the rest. So yeah.
Smart lady.
Well, excellent. Well, all of David's resources will be in the links and show notes. Be sure to give him a like and follow on socials and check out his work. And with that, thanks so much for.
And thank you, Dr. Lou, and have an awesome day just because you can.